Hello everyone, it's Janine here with another R2 creative video for you. This week I thought we could have a go at some jelly printing, or as you may have heard of it called before, mono printing. I'll be using my jelly plate, but later on in the video I'll be talking about some alternatives that you could use, because as I always say, use what you have. So this is the jelly plate. It's a flexible sort of gel-like plate. And I'm sticking it onto this like big piece of plastic here. It's like a big acrylic block. If you do stamping, you'll know what an acrylic block is. You don't necessarily need that, because if you watched when I got it out of the packaging, it was on some acetate, and you could just keep it on the acetate. And I just wanted to show you that I also have some smaller jelly plates. These come in different shapes, and these are by Gel Press, but I think the jelly arts also do them. But this week I'll be using my 6x6 jelly plate. So as I say, I'll talk about alternatives to the jelly plate that you can use later on in the video, but you will need something to spread your paint around with. So I'm using a roller, or as we call it, a brayer. It's a hard roller basically, but if you don't have that, while you're just experimenting, you could use a brush, but you will pick up brush marks with that, but you know, that will just give you a bit of added texture. Or maybe if you've got a sponge, maybe you could use that. Again, you may pick up some texture, but it's a way of trying it. Now I've got lots of different mark making things, as you can see off to the side. You can use anything on your jelly plate, but please don't use anything sharp, because you could damage it. So again, nothing sharp. And I'm spreading out some acrylic paint using my brayer. It's meant for using with acrylic paint. You can possibly use other mediums, but standard is acrylic paint, so that's what I'm doing today. And I may go into some other mediums in another video, but that's more experimental, because as I say, it's meant to be done with acrylic paint. So as you can see, I've pressed different things onto the plate, and then left impressions on the plate and taken a print from that. And now I'm taking what's called a ghost print. So that's like your second generation print. And here you can see that it's taking off extra paint with it. So I prefer not to clean off my jelly plate. One, because it's nice not to have to clean it, and two, because I actually like where it can add extra texture and extra bits onto another print. But if you don't like that and you're going for a different look with your prints, then by all means you can, you know, clean the paint off in between. Now I love jelly printing. I love using colour and texture, and I find it really exciting and fun, because you never quite know what you're going to get. I know some people find the lack of control hard, but I say, you know, embrace that, and you can always layer over things. If you don't like what comes out, you can add more prints over the top and, you know, change it up and things. And as you see at the end of the video, I've put some close-ups of my prints, and you know, you can see some really nice texture in that. So you know, even if you don't like the whole print, you know, when you start looking into them, you get some really nice textures. And you can always, you know, crop and cut your prints down to the bits that you actually really like. In this print I used some corrugated card, a makeup sponge, and wallpaper sample, and a silicone and tool. Remember, as always, you know, this is a fun and meant to be a fun and relaxing thing to do. So you know, don't stress about it. Just, you know, enjoy the process. And if it doesn't work out as you want, you know, it's only some paper and some paint. But you know, as I say, like, I wouldn't throw anything away. You can layer on top of that and create other things. And also, I'd suggest experimenting with the amounts of paint that you put on the plate. If you put too much on, which can be quite easy to do, especially if, like me, you like adding on different colours, sometimes you can put on the right amount of paint and then just be like, oh, I just want a little bit more of that colour, and then you end up flooding out and putting a bit too much paint on, and then you could start to lose some of the textures if you put too much paint on. But you know, you can experiment with that and you'll soon get used to the right sort of amount of paint that it needs. So that was some bits of old, like, samples of carpet, I think that was, that I was using on there. It didn't give quite as much texture as I was hoping for, but we got some there. So I have a number of different brands of acrylic paint that I'm using. I've got different ones from some Winsor and Newton Galleria to some Pebeo ones, to some Amsterdam ones as well. So, you know, just use what you have. This is some wallpaper sample that I'm just stamping in, and that created quite a nice texture. I'm just taking my ghost print there. And I even get a third one out of that. So here you can see the 3 different generations. And it's called monoprinting because you only get one print that's the same. Like as you see, we can do different generations or like ghost prints afterwards, but they always come out slightly different because there's different amounts of paint. It's not the same as like screen printing where you can, you know, get the same print again and again and again. But I really like that. I like, you know, only being able to have the one off, and it being unique. So there you can see how I used mine more as a stamp, and because it's on the plastic block, I was able to flip it over and position it where I wanted. Normally I use it like this and just put the paper straight down onto the plate, but it's nice to be able to flip it over and position it if you want to. But you'd probably be able to do that if you kept it on the acetate sheet as well, but just makes it a little bit easier at being on this plastic block or piece of plastic. And this is a cake decorating tool. Get some nice textures with that. But if you use anything that you would normally use with food, then once it's been used with paint, I suggest don't use it with food again. Just a bit of health and safety notice there. So just keep it for paint once it's been used with paint. But getting it as a cake tool is much cheaper than buying the proper art ones. So there's a little tip there. Now here I'm going to look at some alternative ways if you don't have a jelly plate and you just want to experiment. So this is a glass cutting mat, and also you could, if you look up on YouTube, there's recipes for making gelatin like printing plates, but I'm not sure how long they last. They may need to be kept in the fridge and they may not last forever, but I've never done one before, so I don't know about that. And then also there I'm just showing you a plastic ring binder wallet. You can also do it with that, and I'll demonstrate the glass cutting mat here now and then the ring binder wallet in a minute, just so you can see the differences between them. And then, you know, basically if you've got any kind of sort of plastic thing, I've used a clipboard before, like a plastic clipboard. Like a wooden one wouldn't work, but if you've got a plastic one, then you know that should work well. Here I've used a silicone tip tool and a cotton wool bud. Then you can see that I did a first generation print and a ghost print, and they, you know, they came out well. Maybe not quite the same as a jelly plate. I think the nice thing about the jelly plate is it's got a slight bit of give in it, whereas obviously a glass cutting mat is, you know, completely hard and solid, so you don't have that give in it to give you a bit more, to pick up the textures a bit more. But you know, it's still doable, and I used to use this before I had my jelly plate, so it's a way of being able to do some monoprinting and experimenting and have some fun. So now here I was scraping back with a bit of credit card there, I think, or I think it was an old Tesco club card or something. It wasn't a credit card, but yeah. And so I'm adding on to some of the prints I've already done. And sorry if this is going a bit fast and you can't see the prints very well, but I'll be showing them in more detail at the end. I just didn't want to do all this in real time because it would be a very long video and I'm sure it would be very boring, so I've sped it up so that I can talk about the important bits on here. So now I'm doing it with the ring binder wallet, and I'm using a scrubber to create texture. And these are my bits that I've had off to the side where I've been rolling off my brayer to get rid of the excess paint, but you know, I will use these in some art project somewhere as some background or something, so you know, nothing goes to waste. And also I suggest that if you use a ring binder wallet, you know, don't throw that away. You may be able to clean it off, but also you could use it within a piece of art if you wanted to. You know, it's see-through, so you could layer it up on top of another piece of art, and that could be quite effective. Now here's the one that I did on the ring binder wallet. And then here's the one that I did on the glass cutting mat. These are both the first generation prints. I did the ghost prints on the back, but these are the first generations. And then here to the side is one done on the Gelli print plate. Now obviously, like, I haven't done this scientifically, and I've probably used different amounts of paint on each one, so you know, don't take this scientifically, but you can sort of see the differences there. But you can see you can still pick up texture with the glass mat and the ring binder wallet. And here's some of the prints that I've done on the Gelli plate. I mean, sometimes you can use the same tools and they will look more effective than other times. You know, it depends on different variants, like the amounts of paint and stuff. And this is an A4 one I did, and there's lots of different print. I've done a number of prints on there. And don't forget that you don't always have to use the whole Gelli plate. Sometimes I'll just use a part of it. You know, I could carry on working onto these and do more layers, but I just wanted to show you the basics of Gelli printing to give you an idea. And I hope that you know, even if you've done a lot of Gelli printing before, you've also found this video fun and maybe picked up some other tips of things that you hadn't thought about using before. And these are some close-ups of the prints. I just think when you look at them close up, it's amazing the different textures that have been created in there. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and thanks for watching. And if you've enjoyed it, please do subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye for now.